Hello and welcome, one and all. It's Andy here from Twisted Narrative, and welcome to Shadowdark Times Undreamed of. As usual, it's a very great pleasure to be back. And let us quickly introduce our cast, and then we'll move on with the big cliffhanger from the previous episode. So, first and foremost, Natasha.
Hi all, I'm Natasha. I live in the Netherlands. I also have a couple of cats. Some might make an appearance during the game. Um, I thought I'd take this time to introduce my cats for a change. The black one is called Bruce Airraid Siren Dickinson II because he has a very loud voice. She's also the most active of the cats that I have, so she'll be showing up the most. On to
And
the next.
they are always welcome on the stream.
Okay, it's difficult to stop them.
Absolutely. And of course, on my right, we have Matt.
Hello, I'm Matt, collaborator with Andy, co-writing some of the adventures we've got published on Drive-Thru. Excited to see what goes horribly wrong this time.
Absolutely. Last but not least, Malcolm.
Good evening, all. Thank you, Andy. Yes, name's Malcolm. Been playing Shadowdark this campaign for some time now. Thoroughly enjoying the dangers we keep putting ourselves in front of, and intends to survive the campaign. That might be as good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean it's. Trying to survive is, I suppose, the aim of the game here. It's treacherous all of the time, whichever way you turn, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what exactly happens tonight. It is episode 7, and it is called The Tallow Strikes. Of course, if our players are ingenious, who knows, maybe he doesn't. Before we truly descend into the game, though, a quick mention about a couple of the products that me and Matt have worked on. They're already published on Drive-Thru. First and foremost, I'll call this up. It is the Den of the Red Masks. Do you want to do a quick blurb?
Yes, so the Den of the Red Masks is the second adventure that we've published, which is set in the setting that we're currently playing through in this session this evening. So Times Undreamed of the series is called, and it's actually based on an actual play that we recorded a few months ago now, and you may well have watched, in which your players are invited to help out a um, aspirational leader of a thieves guild to establish themselves by finding out what happened to the legendary Red Masks who disappeared 50 years ago. And it's kind of creepy and unnerving dungeon crawl into the now abandoned den of a very famous um, guild of thieves, and trying to understand what happened and what secrets still lie within.
Mm. It's a very good starting point, and whilst we have, we're not ashamed of, designed it specifically for Shadowdark in mind. Shadowdark is such a in, uh, intuitive and sort of light ruled system. It's easily to convert to basically anything else, any old school gaming or even more modern day 5th Ed or Pathfinder 2. Um, um, it's a good way of sparking your sort of creativity. And alongside masks, we did do a supplement as well, which is got the biggest title ever. Do you want me to say it? Building
Uh,
a wretched hive of scum
there
and
we go.
villainy, a thieves' quarter creation toolkit.
Uh, as the lengthy name suggests, this is it's a set of tools and ideas and tips and suggestions for creating a vibrant thieves' quarter and kind of just bringing a grim and wretched den of thieves and villainous individuals to life. And kind of so there's loads of random tables in there for locations and individuals and NPCs and gangs and guilds and some magic items or curious items that might be found, types of loot that could be either discovered randomly or you might commission your players to go and retrieve from somewhere. So kind of lots and lots of tools and things that a GM can use to create a new adventure or bring like the world of Ipayor and the world in Times Undreamed of more to life.
And I want to do a big shout out. We've purchased art off an artist that we are very, very fond of, by the name of Jay Shields. Go sort of check him out. And
So it's awesome. We've used it in not quite all, but most of our adventures so far, and it's just there's just something really, really great and really exciting and vibrant about his artwork. So check him out.
yeah, I'll put a link to some of his socials in the comment section below. He's a great artist, and we really, really like his work. He's done the art that we've got on the front cover of this video and on the front cover of some of our drive-through stuff as well. Okay, well, 6 minutes of intro of us trying to plug our creations and introductions. So I think without further ado, we cannot put this off for any longer. We're going to descend into times undreamed of, and at the heart of the Tower of the Tallow Man, where we find our protagonists. Of course, the question is, how did they get there? And the answer is simply go back and watch all the goddamn videos. But if you don't, I will quickly summarize. Lots of things happened. They made their way to the Tower of the Tallow Man, secreting their way in and descending down. For the second time, this time fully prepared, having uncovered, been gifted potions of, in effect, gaseous form to allow them to turn to mist and actually find their way down a small hole into the very secret chambers of the Tallow Man. There, they uncovered one of their adversaries, this time, though, staked out, pinned down, unable to move, in eternal torment, punishment by the Tallow Man himself, no less than the Karasiri, the fat-sucking vampire. But the parasitic form, the true Karasiri, this maggoty-type creature that lurked within the body, sensed new life and perhaps a new host. Bursting free from the previous host, it assaulted our brave band of adventurers, choosing Drago as he had the highest amount of constitution. I don't regret that decision. It attached and almost tried to invert itself down Drago's throat to enter its stomach and choose him as a new host. Battle was hard fought, and flaming torches pressed against this parasitic creature and Drago's face. You defeated it, but the burning caused Drago to stumble backwards in the wall. Alas, less wall and more tapestry, as the tapestry was pulled down to reveal none other than the Tallow Man. The Tallow Man visage, though, constructed in wax. Even though that this is an effigy, a reproduction, it is no less terrifying. Standing close to 6.5 foot tall, but gaunt, thin, naked, it looks down upon you, malevolence in its eyes, its waxy, unseeing eyes. That isn't perhaps the most disturbing. It is the wounds that this has taken. You can see all of the damage that has been beset upon the Tallow Man in his many centuries of life, inflicted upon this effigy instead of the Tallow Man himself. Hideously wounded, deformed, bits of wax leaking out as if blood. It has taken much damage, but still it stands. And with that, I would like us to roll initiatives again, please. Okay. So we'll just move round. Jasmine, what did you get?
11.
Okay. And Drago, what did you get?
14.
And Thorsten, what did you get?
12.
It's okay, I wrote 14, then 11, and the 12 there was no space for.
I
It,
apologise.
it always happens, but I have done it. It seems, Drago, as you stumble backwards, kind of touching this wax creature, the drape kind of almost cocooning you as well, making it difficult for move. Still the flames, the feel of the flames burning at your flesh. What do you decide to do? It is your turn.
So see, I think I'm in a state because I've just narrowly as I've had a slug trying to French kiss me, which wasn't very fun. I've been burned in the face, turned around. I've seen that. I don't think this is what I would choose to do tactically, but I think this is what I would do in the moment.
Do it.
I'm gonna shove the torch into its stomach and try and set it on fire.
Okay. Interesting. Give me an attack roll, melee, with advantage. This thing isn't moving. This isn't to see whether you can hit it. It's to see whether you can really sort of connect with it. The physical. You're kind of tangled up and stuff, and who knows exactly how strong this is. You do have advantage on it, of course.
Does my mighty talent count with this? I get +1 to attack and damage with melee weapons. Does it count
Is it
with
any melee weapons or is
torch?
it a special?
Melee weapons as a type.
Yeah, I mean, it's an improvised, but it's a melee weapon, and in this circumstance, absolutely, this thing isn't trying to defend itself, so you can have that bonus.
Makes it a straight roll as opposed to a negative
Yeah.
1 to my strength. That was all.
That is absolutely fine.
Okie dokie. So with advantage.
Can you hit a barn door? Yes, you can.
Just.
Oh, just
So.
no. I mean, you got a solid 17 there. You can defeat a dragon with that kind of roll. Well, I mean, you can hit a dragon; it'll get cross and then eat you. But you certainly would strike one. So you're using a torch, you say?
Yes.
The torch is lit as well, is it not?
It is indeed.
It counts as an automatic critical hit. Whoa! Look at you. That means you double the dice that you would roll, which is, I believe, 1d4 for this.
It is indeed. So double the dice. So is that I rolled twice as many dice,
Yeah.
or I double the total?
Yeah, just roll 2 dice.
Cool. Okay. A whopping 3.
Whopping 3. I mean, it's good. 3 dice.
The 1.
I don't know whether you certainly don't add any kind of. I mean, if it's the mighty feat, is it to melee and damage? If it is, you will get the extra one.
Yes.
Perfect.
So yeah, so 4 total.
Yeah, it's fine. The good news is that this thing takes damage. The bad news is it's not instantly like a flame or burning or whatever, but you hit it hard, and it's quite horrifying really as the flames lick around and bits of it begin to sort of melt. Yeah, it's just, it looks strange, odd. There's no noise, no scream, no reaction to it. But it begins to melt with your blow. And then we move to Thorsten on 12.
seeing Drago's immediate reaction and kind of following suit. Also having a lit torch in hand. Would there be time for me to wrap said tapestry around the upper torso, perhaps, of the effigy and set light to the tapestry, that we might let it continue to burn whilst I can use the torch in another direction if I need to? If
So,
that takes 2 turns,
yeah,
I would heartily agree.
I would say, I mean, your action would be to drape it over it to make it sure it's secure, because you don't want it just
Yep.
falling off.
Yep.
You place it over and make sure it's secure rather than just kind of chancing it. That way it's automatic. If you wanted to do a throw roll and chance your luck, you could try to do that. The chances are it might not work, but if you want to be certain of it, it'll just take a turn to cover the tapestry in it. You don't seem to be in any immediate threat.
Yeah, so I think Thorsten takes the turn to securely wrap. I know Drago commented he was aiming at the stomach, so we'll go the upper torso, neck, shoulder area somehow.
Yeah.
With some amount of the tapestry that I then might set it alight.
Okay, and because I'm super mean, I'm not going to make you roll for this. I'm just going to give you the information as you grab this tapestry, ripping it from the wall, and it's quite threadbare. I mean, this thing is going to burn really quite well, actually. It's not like a thick carpet that is brand new. This thing has seen age, and as you put it over, being the thief that you are, you kind of recognize the age, the antiquity of this, and perhaps the value as you just put it over, wrap it round, and it begins to burn. And once again, this effigy begins to melt. I'm going to say just a D4 fire damage, but what I no, because it's going to counter critical hit to fire, so it'd be 2d4, but this will also be ongoing for the moment.
That was the intention. There was to give us an opportunity.
Yeah, great use of resources, expensive but great. So that's 3 points. Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Taking total of 7
and yet perhaps Thorsten becomes aware of the relic he's just burnt, but
it's okay. There are other ones. I mean, the thing about sort of burning the tapestry as well is I forgot to mention the smoke that is now piling off it, filling the room. Oh yeah, this is awkward. But Jasmine, you'll go.
Jasmine puts on her mask, and if she still has time left, she will grab the next tapestry.
Yep.
And pile it up on the wax effigy.
Okay, nice. Adding fire to the fuel, the smoke to the room, and burning coin. Yeah, so no roll for you. You're stoking the fire, so I don't want to. I don't want to cheat you with some extra damage, especially with the value of items that you are burning. So roll 2d4.
Does my modifier from melee weapons count?
Not for this, unfortunately, because you're not striking it.
Well, it's more than the other guys did anyway.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't really say. Was that 7 points? Was that a 3 and a 4?
5.
A 5 in total. Okay, putting it up to 12 points. This thing now is ablaze, really, and you can see it sort of melting. It's quite horrific. Through the burning of the tapestry, you can kind of catch various body parts of the Tallow man as it begins to sort of melt into itself. The smell is foul. This isn't ordinary wax by any means. It is, well, you assume it's come from humanoids. You assume it is also combined with various alchemical substances, magical substances, and all of this is causing the smoke now billowing from it, black, stifling, very unpleasant. We move to you, Drago.
I am going to try and heal myself.
Okay, the room's not full of smoke at the moment, so I'm not going to give you a penalty for trying to cast a spell or breathe or survive. So you're okay. You think you've probably got. Well, let's find out how long you've got. Roll a d4. This is the number of rounds before you will start suffocating in this chamber.
Funsies.
2. So basically, you've got this turn, next turn, and then the third turn. That is when this thing will just. You won't be able to see in here, and you'll be stifled from this black smoke. But let us see about you healing yourself. One assumes, well, tell the viewers how magic works in Shadowdark.
So I am a priest, so my spellcasting modifier is wisdom, and the DC is always the 10 plus the tier of the spell that you're casting, and this is a first level spell, so the DC is 11. I've got a +2 on my modifier, so I roll a d20, add 2 to it, and pray it's higher than 11. Historically, it's not gone well.
We have had comments on the YouTube channels about how unlucky you are with spellcasting. Maybe you're not even a priest and you're just pretending to be. Your spellcasting is absolutely so bad.
Oh, it's definitely my calling. Let's find out.
Use my luck point.
At least it's not a 1. I mean, that can be said. It seems that Jasmine is more than happy to expend a luck point to allow you to reroll.
Okay.
You all do have 1 luck point. Well, I say that Jasmine doesn't anymore.
Does it reset between sessions? Because I think I used it last time. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's got a luck point back at the start of every session.
Okay. Right, let's try again.
There we go.
That's better. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well spent. So is it 1d6 for cure wounds?
It's 1d6 plus half my level rounded down. We're level 2 now, is that right?
You are.
So it's 2d6. That's exciting.
Is it that's the number of dice, yeah?
Roll a number of d6 equal to 1 plus half your level. Yeah, so
yeah. 2d6. I mean, this is good stuff.
Yeah. What should we roll 2 ones?
Well, that's a 4.
It's a 4. That's okay. So
that was 1 torch to the face resolved.
yeah. I was looking rough, shall we say? That'll do. I assume that's kind of my whole turn to do that.
Yeah, I mean it's action to cast. You can move, but there's not a lot of space to move in here. But this smoke is billowing now.
I would crouch and get as low as possible. It's not going to help much, but I would just, conscious of smoke, I would try and get as low to the ground as I can for the time
sensible.
being.
Makes sense. You see that it is going through the hole as well. But the hole is so small that it's not going to easily sort of ventilate this chamber. Then we move to Thorsten.
I was going to ask where was the smoke travelling. I was hoping that there was another exit that we could make bigger. But if it's using the same escape that we might, I'm somewhat concerned.
The Tallow man is a very nasty piece of work, and he doesn't
Yes.
leave things to chance. No, oh, well, let's just make a little backdoor for people that invade my secret chamber to escape easily from. That's not his style.
Yeah. I had feared as much.
Hmm.
I had feared as much. First of all, how much of the Tallow man's effigy still remains standing?
Yep.
Given
So
that it.
you started. So what I'm going to do, mechanically speaking, is on
Mhm.
your turn and on Jasmine's turn, the two of you who caused it to do the same amount of damage again.
Yep.
But on each of your turns, I am going to roll a die to see whether your tapestry stops burning, basically.
Yep. Burns out.
Yeah, there are swings and roundabouts with this. Obviously, if it burns out, it's not going to do any more damage, but it's not going to release a lot more smoke. So,
Yep.
so you get to do 2d4.
Thank you.
That's nice, isn't it? Is that another 5?
Yeah, that's 5. Yeah.
Very nice. Putting it on to 17. So it's substantially damaged now, well over 75%. This thing is melting fast. Fire is not really what you want to use on fat, and you've covered it in this in these tapestries as well. I would like you to roll a d20 for me. This is to see where the tapestry goes out. For the moment, okay, no, it's still burning. Yeah, you needed to get a higher number.
Yep.
So that is still burning. We'll do another 2d4 on your start of your next turn. Then we move to. Oh, sorry. Did you want to do anything? Because that didn't take you any action at all. That is just automatic.
Yeah. Thorsten. Sorry, guys. I'm going to start running. Takes the second draft.
Sensible. It takes an action to do.
Yeah.
And you merge with the black smoke. It's unpleasant. It's not going to cause you any harm or damage, but we'll do the description that we did sort of previously for those that didn't watch the previous. As you drink this potion, your form begins to effervesce, and it's almost as if your skin begins to sort of bubble, and these bubbles sort of just drift off you, almost as if you have been Thanos in the blip, but instead of dust, it's just bubbles, effervescence, until there is no more of you in physical form. All of the items transformed with you, and the hotter air, the burning of the effigy is creating an updraft, making it even easier for you to merge with the black choking smoke and drift up. So with a move action, you are out of this secret chamber.
Yep.
That
was the plan.
Done. Jasmine, what would you like to do at the start of your turn? 2d4 for the burning.
Another 5.
Another 5, thank you.
Good.
The good news is a bit like the wicked witch of the west with being doused with water. Instead, this effigy of the Tallow man being covered with flaming things, it has just a pile of molten wax now, enough to destroy it. The 2 tapestries still aflame though, and kind of like a living candle, the wax that has been melted is kind of causing it to still burn. One of the tapestries, Thorsten's, is definitely still alight. Let us see if yours extinguishes. Roll a d20 for us. On a 9 or higher, yours goes out, just burnt out, nothing more. 13, so there is only one left, but that one is giving out a lot of smoke. But it is your turn proper now. What would you like to do?
Draco's torch is still burning, so there's through the smoke, I think the lower part of the chamber Is it still visible?
Just about.
Is there anything I see like another statue or an object that I think would be valuable to put in my bag?
This is going to take your action to kind of really search this place, and there was nothing obvious, but your mind thinks about the effigy being behind one of the tapestries in an alcove. Because of the descriptions that you've given me, you kind of drop to the floor, trying to not breathe in this smoke, and you rapidly move some of these other tapestries. Give me an intelligence roll. Nine.
18.
18, good. Yeah, I mean, the bad news is there's nothing behind these tapestries. And then as you move one of the tapestries, you realise, is that gold? The tapestry itself has gold within it, and you realise that the things that you've been moving out of the way to look for something of value are the items of value. So one of these tapestries would be worth an awful lot.
I yank it down, quickly roll it up, and put it in my backpack, and shout to Drago, "Take the potion, get out of here."
Now, the tapestry is not light, and this is Shadowdark, so it's going to take 2 gear slots.
No, I'm leaving it behind.
I mean, this tapestry is worth quite a lot. If you want to drop other equipment, it would get you more gold than you can re-equip with some of your cheaper stuff. That's the way that treasure works, but I'm afraid it is bulky. It is.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of the flint and steel that I carry.
Yeah, you just
so I have enough space.
scatter that out of the way. I know it's basically mechanics, but it's a good mechanic as you kind of load that in and you do that. That is unfortunately your full turn though. Add ancient tapestry to your gear. Then we move to Drago. Final round before this place is going to fill full of smoke. What would you like to do, Drago?
Tried to be the hero a couple of times. It's always gone badly. I'm going to listen to the advice of my esteemed colleague, and I'm going to down the potion and up the spell.
Okay, simple again, still burning.
You won't be plunged into complete darkness because there is still fire down there. Aha!
Absolutely.
That was my guilt, but yes.
Well, we say that because it's Thorsten's tapestry that is burning at the moment, and you effervesce, and you find yourself merging with this guttural black Stygian smoke. It's oily as well. It's very unpleasant. Smoke from the fat of living creatures, sentient living creatures. You escape through the hole, finding yourself back up into the bed chamber. Move to Thorsten. Give us another roll. 9 or more for your tapestry to go out. 8. It's still burning at the moment. The other tapestry, Jasmine's tapestry, whilst it's not a flame, it's still giving out horrible, horrible smoke. Thorsten, we are in a place of danger, aren't we? So I'm going to roll a couple of these. I'm going to roll a couple of these. Okay, yeah. You become aware, bursting into this bedchamber, are 3 of these Kithgar warriors, these savages, obviously being summoned and directed to this chamber. perhaps the Tallow Man is somehow connected. Well, we know the Tallow Man is connected to its effigy, and with damage done to it, he is now.
How did they get in?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You have.
Yeah, they need to beat 21.
So you hear boom, 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 boom. It's good, thank you. For people who haven't watched the previous video, like myself, Jasmine did a very good jamming of the door with iron spikes. So you hear banging on the door as they are attempting to force this open with a strength modifier of +3. They are working together, so they have advantage. So we'll roll this. Look at that. Double criticals. We like the dice to tell a story.
The door slams them back in the face.
Yeah, no, they are struggling as they both sort of trying to do it. You can hear the fact that they can't argue, for they have had the tongue severed from their mouths, but they're having some kind of falling out as one of them quite obviously tripped over the other and is kind of blaming. They are probably, one of them is kind of making gestures to bring something heavy to smash through the door, and the other one is disagreeing. You've brought yourself a round of them not being able to do anything.
So Thorsten then takes the given opportunity to materialize and make himself again, and prepare his weapons should they manage to come through the door.
Okay, very
So,
cool.
in tactical terms, I am holding my attack until something gets close enough for me to hit it. No,
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
you don't really do that, but you have materialized yourself and you've used your action to draw your weapons. Unless you want to try and hide.
that was where I was going, was my remembrance of the things on my character sheet that sometimes are important. I would like to make myself less visible to somebody coming through the door.
I'm too nice of a GM letting you. So yes, and it simply happens for the moment. They literally don't know what's going on there. They can probably see there's a little bit of smoke coming from under the door, but beyond that, they've been told quite obviously to come up here. But you hide. If they burst through this door, they'll be unaware of your presence in this room. We move to Jasmine.
Jasmine is still downstairs, so she will now also take the potion and move upwards.
Yep. Just give us a roll for the tapestry as well.
No, mine's already out.
Perfect. Don't give me a roll for your tapestry. You drink your potion and you effervesce. You go out as well. At this point, Drago, what are you going to do?
Okay. It lasts a minute, doesn't it?
I don't believe it lasts a minute. I believe it lasts a certain number of rounds. It might be a minute. I might have said a minute. So
I cannot remember. So it's your call as GM.
you
How
have
long
you
can
have
I?
you have some time. I don't think potions last like it's a 5e mechanic is a minute or whatever.
Yeah.
Potions in Shadowdark tend to last. Some do last a certain amount of time, but a lot of effects are like a D4 or a D6 number of rounds or whatever.
Okay. I'm gonna get up into the chamber, but I am gonna attempt to hold my gaseous form for the moment.
Okay.
Are there any windows?
No, not in here.
It's worth a shot.
It is most definitely worth a shot. Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna drift around the ceiling.
I mean, you could, if you wanted to, probably escape underneath the door that is locked.
I have thought about that, but I would
You don't want to face the Kithgar warriors and the Tallow man alone. Is that what I'm hearing? That's what I'm
No,
hearing.
no. It's more that my esteemed colleague has dropped his form. If we were all still clouds, I would have definitely been up for that. But certainly for the minute, I'm just going to be hovering around the ceiling and
Perfect.
sort of above and the door, so kind of on the against the wall that the door is on, so that when they come through, I'm less obvious.
Hmm.
It'll all go
Perfect.
horribly wrong, I'm sure.
Very nice. I'm just having a look at these things here. Yeah, so most of the standard potions last, the ones that have got time seem to last for 10 rounds. So that is, if we're using 5e mechanics, a minute or so. So that is fine. Okay, so you drift up to the ceiling and are hovering up there. At this point, at the end of your turn, Drago, the Kithgar warriors should have a go, but they don't, so they make no progress because of their terrible critical fail. In fact, you think you might hear one of them punching the other one at the moment. Then we move to Thorsten. What you really wanted is those double ones to be when the Tallow man casts like the disintegration spell at you, and for it to be miscast and for him to die. But unfortunately, Thorsten.
Thanks for that, Andy.
That's okay. Spoilers.
I think Thorsten stays effectively hidden.
Yep.
Waiting to see what happens next.
Makes absolute sense. Jasmine, you are out of the room now. It's difficult for you to perceive. You don't really have eyes. This smoke is kind of filling this room, but this chamber is much bigger. And the tapestries have kind of burnt out, though some sort of smoke is coming. So you're not in any danger of choking in this room, just so you're aware. What would you like to do, Jasmine?
Do I sense my environment? Do I know that Drago has dropped out and that Drago is still floating and Torsten has dropped out?
Yes, we'll say that you can kind of feel vibrations and the like, so you've got some kind of semblance of knowledge of what is going on.
Jasmine would know this. Is Lord Arcady's effigy in this room or the lobby?
You didn't move it, so it's in this room.
I would like this round to quickly scan in gaseous form the reception area and the area just outside that door leading to the hallway.
Okay, so you are, just to clarify, you're in the bedchamber at the moment, and there's a hole in the floor that goes down to the secret chamber. You can go underneath this door into the outer chamber if you wanted to, and then you would kind of see that in there's two Kithgar warriors that are having some kind of sign language argument and are sort of hitting each other and hitting their chest about kind of pointing at trying to get something heavy to try and smash through the door. They don't notice you. Their critical fail is still in effect. You want to move through to the longer corridor with the 3 doors. As you do there, you can see or sense there are more coming. If you stay trapped in this chamber for too long, you're just going to have the entire tower here waiting for you.
Technical question about how potions work.
Mm-hmm.
The effect lasts for 10 rounds. Does that mean that Thorsten can drop back into gaseous form during the effects of the potion?
No, we basically said that's why they made you two drafts. Once you drop it, it is purged from your system. Yeah, I'm being harsh, but this is dangerous.
I move back into the bed chamber and also materialize.
Okay. And move to Drago.
And I will say, there's reinforcements coming. We need to get out of here right away. And Thorsten, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, you're a bleeping idiot.
It's okay. I mean, it's difficult tactically to know what's going on, but Drago, kind of the vibrations, especially the very strongly worded, kind of strikes you, and you feel the vibrations through your gaseous form.
Enough to comprehend what was said.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with role-playing games, as far as I'm concerned, is, communication both in and out of character is really important, and I don't want to stifle that.
Two ideas. I don't know which I would do.
Run, my friends, run.
Okay. I am going to. Oh, this is such a terrible idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. I would like to go under the door,
Hmm.
out into the stairwell,
Yep.
and take my normal form.
Hmm.
And then I would like to throw my dagger down the stairs.
Okay.
Because what I'm trying to do is create a noise of something that's going downstairs to try and distract the guards. And then, if as much as possible, I would like to try and be out of sight if they come through the door.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot going on there.
Yeah, as much. That's what I would like to do. Obviously, it's your call as to how much I can achieve and all the rest of it.
Ooh,
Trying to give my friends a way to get out
we are
without.
in because it's kind of almost it's beyond a sort of near move to get from where you are to the stairwell for one thing. So that would basically take your move to drop your dagger down the stairs. Is not really an action. You're not really, you can just cast it. So making some noise. I'm gonna let you have it. I feel I'm being a little bit mean, but this
I mean,
is
I'm happy to do it over a series of rounds if that makes more sense. So I get there and then get to sort of out towards the stairwell in this round, and then I continue the intention for the next round, if that's a better way to do it.
yes. I think that's fairer. I'm not being mean, but
No.
if you want it to have sort of impact, it's going to cost you some kind of resource, and that resource it's going to take you 2 turns to do.
It's cool.
So, unfortunately, we move to the 2 Kithka warriors that have composed themselves from their terrible turn. They begin to head towards the stairwell, looking for something heavy. Drago, I want you to give me a dex. Well, no, because you be gaseous formed. So you basically still in gaseous form, close to the stairwell, because it wouldn't make sense to transform until next turn. As you do, you see 2 of these Kithka warriors move past, not down the stairwell, but into the library chamber, heading toward.
No. Also blocked.
Yeah, but it's blocked from the outside, isn't it?
Yeah, so how did they
Yeah, but
open
they
the
don't know
door?
that yet until they try the door.
Yeah. So they're not there because it takes them a double move to get to the door of the library chamber. I'm not cheating you here. But they know the library's got a table in. They're looking for some furniture to make into a thing to smash through the door. They don't know that the library door is doing it. So your previous actions are definitely having very good impacts. So we then move to Thorsten.
So, taking his admonition on the chin, I didn't know what was best and panicked. However, they've moved away from the door, whoever they were, because I haven't seen through yet. Can we get them whilst they're busy with the other door?
Well, we need to remove the
Yeah.
spikes ourselves, and we have the same DC as I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that they're unfortunately not easy to
Yeah.
take out. So Thorsten, if you want to give me a strength check, or you can give Jasmine advantage by helping Jasmine immediately after you, if you prefer.
I think that would make more sense, is that I would fail and then be there to support Jasmine when she makes her attempt to get
Perfect.
us through the door.
So I rapidly move to Jasmine. Jasmine, strength check, please, with advantage, needing a 21.
I was actually going to try to wiggle them.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. So you want to use dexterity instead?
Yep.
That's
Oh.
okay. I don't have an issue with that. Like I said, you're not stuck here forever. If the worst comes to the worst, you can literally smash your way through this door, but it just makes a lot of noise. So
it's does Torsten's 8 give me advantage?
yeah, absolutely.
Uh, 19.
19. It's not a 21.
No.
Take
So
my luck.
do you want a luck point to try and get these out?
If any of the other two are willing to spend one.
Yeah.
I think
Take mine.
Drago is.
And do I need to re-roll, or can it be used like
It needs to be a reroll,
success?
unfortunately.
Okay. And again with advantage, or just a single dice?
Just a single dice this time. Oh dear, that is not good. So you're struggling at the moment. You might have actually just wedged these in too hard, and it might be easier for you just to try and smash through this door. They're aware that something is going on. Okay, so we move to Drago. You can hear the Kithka warriors at this other door, and they kind of rattling it. They can see because you spiked the doors from this side, so they can kind of see what's going on now. You hear blades being pulled now, and Drago, you see them stop smashing. They don't start smashing that door trying to get through. They turn and they start heading back the other way. They are very confused. Drago, what would you like to do?
So they're not going to try and pull the spikes and go through into the library.
No. They are intelligent enough to realise that whoever spiked these haven't managed to sort of spike them, and they don't think that the threat is in there. They think the threat is definitely in the other chamber.
I am going to continue my
Cunning
possibly
plan.
terrible plan.
Okay, so you transform, you throw it down, it clatters. I'm going to ask, what kind of role do you want this to be? This is a way of deceiving, tricking them. It can be dexterity, it can be your cunning, your wisdom check. If you want to try and make this sort of work, to make this noise tangible enough for them to consider it a threat to investigate.
I'm terrible at throwing things, so I would try and using kind of a more trying to gauge with my either wisdom or intelligence as you think is most appropriate. I'd almost try and like bounce it so that it hits floor, then wall, that it kind of ricochets to make the most possible noise. So I'm not going for dexterity or strength. It's more about trying to work it at angles and be
Yeah,
logical about it as opposed to. So
absolutely. So, what you're saying, wisdom?
I think wisdom, but I'm happy to do intelligence
No,
because they're
no, no.
both. So
No, wisdom sounds good. DC is going to be 9. It's going to be an easy thing to really do, but you do need to do it because you are trying to convince these to come in this direction.
Yep. Great. Cool. Lovely. Excellent.
Okay, a natural
I'm
one. That
stabbing
is
myself in the foot with my dagger. Great.
it's a critical fail. I think with that is you throw it and it goes ka-junk, 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 and then suddenly goes quiet as a Kithko warrior appears round the corner coming up from the stairwell, and he's got the dagger stuck in his arm, and he does not look best pleased. He sort of pulls it out and growls at you. Okay. You do have
Evening.
move. You can move towards the 2 Kithka warriors and the rest of your companions, or try run past this one down the stairs, or run up the stairs, or stay paralyzed where you are.
I am going to run as hard, as fast, and as hard as I can towards the other 2 who are in the room trying at the door, and I am going to scream at the top of my lungs, "He's got a knife!"
That is a Han Solo moment in the Death Star. It's like, ah! Okay, these poor 2 Kithka warriors that critically failed are totally shocked to see you appear, running towards them, shouting, "He's got a knife," that are in this chamber now. Obviously, you 2 also hear that as well. Right, okay. So, the 2 Kithgar warriors were intent on trying to smash this door. They see you coming, but they've kind of almost committed to their actions, and they once again are going to try and smash this door before they turn upon you, Drago. So this is with advantage and +3. Fortunately, it's not. I mean, I think I can't tell whether that's a 7 or 1. I need to change this die, but it's a 14
7.
that counts, so it's a 17, which is not a 21, and you just hear them bang, and then suddenly it stops, and then suddenly you also hear Drago saying he's got a knife on the other side of the door. We now move to Thorsten.
Who, seeing that brute force might not be the only way to resolve this problem, is going to attempt to remove the spikes.
Yeah.
With Dex.
Okay. So, in effect, this door has been trapped. So I would allow you to use your thieves' tools at this moment. Both you and Jasmine have tried to wiggle these out, and they're kind of semi-jammed. But you've perhaps got some oil and various other bits and pieces that might be able to do this. So you can have advantage on this as you do a dexterity check with your thieves' tools now. It seemed such a good idea at the time, jamming these things in the door.
And that's a 21.
Yeah, so
17 with a +4.
perfect. Just what you needed. Having loosened them, Jasmine, Thorsten
Thank you.
manages to finally sort of oil them, sort of tap them. And it's kind of like these, when two pieces of metal suddenly become kind of unmovable, untrapped because of the angle that they act. Little bit of WD-40 and the like, and you just manage to slot them out. The door is now able to be opened. Well done, Thorsten. You do have a move. I would allow you to throw the door open if you wanted to and move as part of your action, or you could wait for Jasmine to shield up and go for it.
So I would make sure that my partner in crime is ready, and if she is not, I would take a moment. So I won't open the door in this instance.
Okay.
But I will take maybe a step or two back.
Yeah.
So I'm not immediately in the door frame should it burst open.
Okay. That is good, and you can do that. You have a move to Jasmine.
Can I carry the effigy of Lord Arcades by myself if I have enough slots?
Yeah, we'd say it's the same as a body, so you need 2 empty gear slots.
Yeah, throwing out rations and a crowbar.
Yeah, it's like throwing all of your gear, tinderbox, rations, crowbar. It's going to be bulky, so you basically are going to have to, if you want to fight, carry it, put it down, fight, pick it up again. I'm not going to penalise you for that, but you're not going to be able to fight at the same time as carrying it, because it's you would have to carry it like a person. It's a life size.
Yeah, I assume it has some sort of base that it's standing on.
Yeah. So
basically, at the end of my action, I want to pick it up and be ready to ram it base first into the first person that comes through the door.
Oh, nice! You are weaponizing.
I think he will be surprised to, having his feet hurt.
Well,
and it's in his best interest.
You and the Dark Duke have history. This is interesting. Perfect. Drago, you'll go. You've got 1 behind you, 2 in front of you. Jokers all around.
Where am I in relation to them?
You've just literally burst through into the chamber that they are in, and they are currently at the door into the bed chamber of the Karasiri. They tried to force it, and they have turned now upon you.
Okay.
I haven't gave you a full description of these Kithka warriors. They are again sort of tall individuals, sort of lanky really, but very wiry, kind of muscle. They have a very dark skin and bald pate. Their teeth have been filed, sharpened. They have long pointed nails, but the thing that is worse, they have covered themselves with white powder, woading of sorts, but they've moved it over their body to give them almost a skeletal kind of appearance, that of a skull. They are naked, but for a loincloth. And you kind of know the reason for this woading. This is because they already consider themselves to be dead. They have nothing to live for. They will be remorseless in combat.
Is it magnesium powder?
It would be nice if it was, wouldn't it? But unfortunately not. And they are staring down upon you now.
Yeah, I mean, I've committed myself to a terrible bit, I think. Yeah, I had a great plan. I had a terrible plan, and it went terribly.
Natural 1.
Okay.
Boom.
On the basis that I am an orc, and
Yeah.
therefore not entirely small myself.
Not at all.
What I want to do is I want to continue charging towards them, and I would like to grab my quarterstaff and hold it out sideways and attempt to basically barrel into them and slam them back against the wall, and hope that either they tumble through the door that might now be open, or bang their heads in or pass out, and then I can deal with the one behind me.
Okay, very nice.
I'm
So, yeah, charge. Make an attack roll, please.
okay. I'm Lego well. Okay. So with my mighty feet, that brings me to no, it doesn't.
In fact, this is an attack, is it? Because you're trying to barge them. Make a strength check.
It's not. It doesn't count as an attack.
I mean, you can attack and damage one of them, or you can attempt to bull rush both of them and push them. And I'm not saying you can do. You know, you can choose what you want to do if you feel like an attack is better.
No. What I want to do is charge them. An attack is better from a dice perspective, but in the action, what I'm trying to do is physically push them and let the wall do the damage for me.
Lovely.
So, that being the case, it's a -1 to my roll.
9.
It's been lovely knowing you guys. I'll be the corpse in the corner when you get out.
Well, I'm going
They
to make
don't
this.
have armor.
Yeah, I'm going to make this. Yeah, I'm going to make this opposed, so we'll see this. Yeah, so you kind of charge forward with your quarterstaff. You catch them sort of semi-unawares, and you manage to sort of push them back a little bit towards the door, but they manage to sort of each of them grab hold of your quarterstaff. Now you have got 2 individuals holding your quarterstaff, and they begin to do what you did, but to you, and start pushing you back as it is their turn now. So they've basically, you charge forward with your quarterstaff like this. Unfortunately, they were too strong enough to be knocked back. You knock them back 1 or 2 steps, and now they are charging forward with you holding onto your quarterstaff towards the far door where the other one has just emerged with the dagger that you gave him. Give me another strength roll, please. It's good, but unfortunately not good enough. They don't do any damage to you, pushing you back, but the one who has got the dagger just tries to stab it into your back. What is your armor class?
It is incredibly powerful. It's 6.
6.
I'm a priest.
You take 1 point of damage lightweight. I'm a priest. You take 1 point of damage from this, but you are now surrounded by 3 Kiska warriors. They've let go of your quarterstaff, and they have got their weapons. Well, they're going to use. I think they're going to bite you. I think they are literally going to sort of try and rip and rend your flesh off with their sharpened teeth. Not this round, next round. So we move to Thorsten. Just to clarify, Jasmine, did you open the door?
No, I did not have time for that, so I will shout at Thorsten, open the door.
So the door is closed currently. Thorsten, it is your go.
At this point, the Kiskin are not aware the door is openable, to my knowledge.
Yeah, kind of.
Therefore, if I burst through the door and attempt to stab one of them in the back...
I'll give you a backstab this round because...
that's what I was thinking, yeah.
I mean, Drago is doing an absolutely sterling job of distracting all of them at the moment. They don't know what's behind the other door. You are emerging from total cover.
Yep.
So 100%, I think for this round, you can get a backstab in.
Awesome. So I've obviously got to hit. So let's start with attacking with a finesse weapon.
Yep.
I get my +4. And if they're naked, is an 11 good enough?
Well, I say there's naked. I say they're wearing special, scary, wounded
True.
paint. But unfortunately, it doesn't do anything other than look terrifying. So an 11 is a hit.
Awesome. So backstab is 1 plus half my level extra dice. So 2 extra dice. So I'm at 3d4.
I know, this is very nice.
As if they roll well.
9.
9.
Thank you very much.
I catch this guy completely unawares and plunge a dagger into sort of like the gap between his neck and his shoulder blade, I think.
You would have to reach up very tall for that.
That's true.
That is easy enough. Caught completely unawares, you slice at a neck. Archery is severed, and blood coats this room, and he just falls to the floor. Drago, you meet eyes with Thorsten.
Hi. Hello.
Let me move to Jasmine. You've got a clear run now. You have the
Yeah.
Dark Duke in your arms.
And hot on the heels of Thorsten bursting out of the open door, Jasmine charges into the room and basically attempts to slam the base of Duke Arcades' statue into the one that isn't profusely bleeding at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, that one's dead. That one is down on the floor dead. It was killed outright. Okay, so this is a charge you're running forward. This would count as an improvised weapon, so you can just make your strength roll if you want. It's a fairly
10.
10 is going to hit. They are not wearing any armor. You'd be pleased to know. In terms of damage, I was not anticipating the Dark Duke being used as an improvised weapon.
We're talking about Jasmine here. No respect for, important people.
Yeah. I mean, I hate the fact that I'm just about to say this to you. You can choose. It'll be 1d6 or 1d8. If you choose the 1d8, there's a chance that the statue will also take some damage.
1d8.
This is why I said I was perhaps going to take that. So yeah, roll.
I announced it like when I picked it first up. He's going to feel his feet.
Absolutely. Okay, so 3 is not enough to kill him outright. But yeah, he feels it as you slam this life-size statue into it, and part of it breaks off. The wax snaps.
I shout really loudly, "Sorry, Duke." Maybe you can hear it. And I immediately put the statue down and grab my shield and longsword if that's allowed. And otherwise, I will do it at the start of the next round.
Start of the next round, unfortunately. You can put the statue down though. Drago, you'll go.
Okay.
There are 2 left. One has been battered by the Dark Duke, and then there's the one that has just stabbed you with the dagger.
I am facing my friends, so I assume it's one of those 2 that has been killed, and then the other one who's been injured. I'm going to try and hit the injured one.
Perfect.
With my staff. So
I just need a 10 to hit.
Okay. So it's a straight roll.
Yeah, that's solid.
Cool. Okay, and then it's a D4 plus 1 damage. So that's 4 points of damage.
That is enough with the damage is already taken. How do you want to bring an end to this Kiska warrior?
sort of not even acknowledging them as an enemy, I would say to my two companions, I had a great idea. It didn't work. And I just track him over the skull and hopefully drop him
Yeah,
to the ground.
he goes down.
And then in using that movement, I'd also like to kind of move between my two friends and then turn around so they're clear to dive and attack the other guy
perfect.
as
And
I
it
turn. And
also puts you out of combat. No attacks of opportunity. So there is one left. He has a knife that is Drago's, his teeth. He has a choice between Thorsten and Jasmine.
At the moment, Jasmine doesn't have a weapon or a shield.
Right, I mean, it sounds very much like you. You want him to attack you, so plus 3 to this. That's only a 9, which is going to be a miss as he tries to strike at you.
Yeah, we would have needed a 14,
Yeah.
even without a shield.
Disappointing. Perhaps these are not as scary as they perhaps look. Then we move to Thorsten. There is just the one left now in the doorway.
Yeah, and continuing his theme of stabbing things, attempts to stab this one. Very much aware that this one is aware that I'm in the room. I've just killed his mate. So
Yep.
let's have an attack roll.
That is going to miss unless you've got plus 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have quite that. The bonus, I have plus 4 to make it 7.
There is a single luck point left, I believe.
Yes, my own. But no, I shall resign myself to not being quite so effective on this occasion.
Okay.
But making sure that, again, should this creature attempt to reach Drago, he's going to have to pass at least one of us. So close the gap a little.
And just to clarify with these creatures, more than 50% of them have died. Traditionally, you would need to do a morale, but these are relentless, so they don't take morale checks. So I've not forgotten that. It's one of the benefits of having them as guards. Move to Jasmine.
Jasmine equips her shield and longsword and would like to slash at the remaining Kitgar.
Okay, go for it. Was that a natural one?
Nope. Yeah, that's a natural one.
Okay, it's worst possible effect.
Spend my luck point.
Really?
You sure?
Okay.
Yeah, we as much as I was saving it for the spellcasting priest, we can't afford a 1 here.
I mean, in many ways, you perhaps would have hit Thorsten with your natural one. So Thorsten is very pleased to have done that. Do you have plus 7?
No, it's 3 plus 4. So I rolled a 3 on the dice and I only have plus 4 in attack. So
yeah, they are gaining momentum and advantage at the moment. You both miss. Almost a tragic loss as you almost sliced at Thorsten. He kind of almost bullet times out of the way as your weapon just goes past, allowing you to restrike. But we move to Drago.
Jasmine does move all the way up to close with him, and basically shouts in his face, "Die, you bleeping mongrel bastard barbarian!"
Okay, he pays you little attention. He's got wild look in his eyes. Drago.
Gonna step to where I can whack him around my companion and try and hit him.
Okay. Yeah, you hit him again.
Why is it I'm rolling well now?
It's okay. I mean, this is what happens sometimes. I mean, we can say that is a miss if it makes you feel happier. Is
No,
that
it's
2?
all good. That's a 2 + 1, so 3 points.
Okay, again, not enough to finish him off as you step forward. Jasmine is in his face, so he's going to, he has +3 to this roll. Attempts to bite Jasmine and again misses. I'm rolling bad. We move to Thorsten.
Looks to make up for previous turns, issue and stab this guy.
Go for it.
It's not particularly smart or clever, but it just needs to get done.
This time you strike, so give me some damage. It's already been cracked by Drago.
Oh,
That is
here's
enough.
hoping 3 more.
Yeah, I am. He goes down as you catch probably sort of the inner thigh or something like that, nicking an archery, and he just sort of buckles, falls, and then realizes it's a critical strike as blood starts gushing from his wound. We will still stay in combat initiative though for our others coming. You do have move. You can obviously communicate to the rest of your companions about what you intend to do.
I guess we're going up the tower.
Yeah, move back to the rooftop.
Yep. So Thorsten gets to the door to the stairwell and takes a quick look outside. What does he see?
You don't see anything, but you can hear more footsteps coming up the stairs. It sounds like the guards from the barracks, which were quite far removed from the main tower, that have had to get through all of the security in the portcullises, have started to make their way into the tower. There is a flood of savage warriors. They're not that close at the moment, but you can definitely hear, and there's no attempt at any kind of subterfuge. They're charging forward. So yeah, that is you. We'll move to Jasmine.
Jasmine stows her shield and longsword, picks up the statue, and starts running up the stairs. But we'll wait for both Thorsten and Drago to pass her before she starts following them up.
Okay. Drago?
I will retrieve my dagger from the fallen dude and
Do you thank him?
no, not really. I take a moment to wipe my blood on. No, that'll be on his loincloth. No, I just carry it with my own blood in it. Because, yeah, no, and start running or heading up the stairs, muttering quietly to myself about where's the Tallow man and being flushed into his waiting teeth.
The Kithgar warriors, possibly the Tower man, do things. Thorsten, you'll go.
Heads up the stairwell.
Yeah.
As far and as fast as he can get.
You, in effect, can double move. You go past the door to the 3rd floor where the horrible dioramas are, a room that you've already looked at. One assumes that you want to carry on up to the trap door. Okay, you'll get there next move. Jasmine, are you doing the same thing?
Yeah, basically, I'm going up but staying behind Drago, so I'm between him and the people pursuing us.
Okay, Drago.
Yeah, continuing up.
Okay. Obviously, the Kithgar warriors and maybe the Tallow man do things, and then we move to Thorsten. You'll get to the trap door this turn if that is your attention.
Certainly.
At this moment, are you running in the pitch black, or does someone have a torch still?
If we applied the same principle we did last time, that was gaseous form, captures the current status of the torch. When Thorsten returned to physical form, he had a burning torch at that point, so has continued to carry a burning torch. But a good because we forget that inside this tower there's no natural light, there's no windows.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry to say that your torch burns out. An hour has passed. You are all plunged into darkness. You cannot double move if you want, and you can spend an action lighting another torch if you wish, or you can blindly run up the stairs.
No, I'm going to spend the action and burn a torch.
Okay. So
it's
going to take you another round to get to the trapdoor then as you do that. But everybody is illuminated. Jasmine doing the same thing, moving up, getting behind Thorsten, and Drago doing the same thing again. Thorsten, obviously, the antagonists act. You can hear them. You can hear them running up the stairs, moving at pace. The big worry that crosses all of your minds is how long is it going to take you to descend down the tower? Because if they get to the top before you're at the bottom, they can simply cut the ropes and you will plummet to the Garden of Deaths. The good news is the fall will probably kill you before the gardens do.
Jasmine knows a solution to that.
Good. I am pleased that you have a solution. Thorsten, you're the first with the light to reach the trapdoor, which is currently closed. It only takes you a move action to get there because you paused halfway to light your torch. You get to the door. What would you like to do?
Throw it open and stand on the top of the tower.
You throw it open. You stand on top of the tower. Wind blows, starry night. The chimney still burning.
We went in that long. We went in the morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. It is midday then, or before.
Sorry, DM.
It's okay. It matters not whether it is a night or day. It is merely a descriptive. So you can see this. It's still windy. It's a bluish sky, the sun beating down, smoke burning.
Given that Thorsten has climbed the tower twice now, how difficult a descent would it be
for you?
Without rope.
For you, getting over the lip would be the difficult thing, perhaps the only thing that would require a challenge for you. But once you're on the tower proper, as described many times before, this kind of knobbly, melted structure, plenty of footholds and handholds, and you're a skilled climber, so not overly a challenge to you. To the others, maybe someone trying to carry the Dark Duke.
Thorsten secures a rope and starts to climb down the tower. Only as far as getting over the lip for himself, and then would get off the rope. But the rope's obviously there for others to use and possibly save some time in preparing their own descent.
Okay. Jasmine.
Jasmine, does she reach the trapdoor?
Yeah, you reach the trapdoor.
She climbs out and says down to Thorsten, tie the rope on a piton out of sight of the guards. Make a double knot. I know you secured it, but secure it again further down.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to have to do this on this turn. You emerge. You give that instruction to Thorsten. Is that your go?
Yeah, and I will prepare to heave Jasmine and Lord Arcades as effigy over the edge of the parapet. Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be difficult to climb and carry this thing down. It is within your gear slot though, but it is a very bulky item. Drago, it is your go.
Jasmine would have told Drago to go and climb down.
Just don't have anything that I can use to try and wedge the trapdoor shut, unfortunately. Not anymore. Yeah, so I am going to start climbing down.
Okay, well, Thorsten has basically just started descending because they had to move to the trapdoor, open the trapdoor, gone, fasten the rope. So Thorsten is just over the lip at the moment.
Okay, well, if I can't climb, what I would then do is to wait so that I can, till there's room for me to climb, I would spend the turn making a futile investigation of the tower top to see if there is anything that can help wedge the trapdoor shut from this side.
The floor of this area is, say, just covered with this slurry of horrible chemical smoke and wax that kind of falls out from the chimney. It's slick and horrible and greasy. It's a good couple of inches thick. There's nothing else of really any use up here.
Matt, were you burning a torch as well? Or did yours go out? All right.
Well, no. In theory, I would have done, but in order to have done all of the double-handed stuff with the good stuff, I would have had to have dropped it. So I've just assumed that it's probably on the floor in the room outside the bedchamber.
We'd also have burnt out at the same time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All I, as a player, had a thought. It's probably too late, but because Thorsten's over the lip. What happens if we set fire to the top of the tower and all this icky blackness, fat?
I mean,
would it?
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's
prevent people coming?
Well,
prevent people coming through the door.
I wouldn't want to step on it. But at the moment, we have the Dark Duke, Arcades, we have Jasmine, and we have Drago on the roof.
I would hold fire, basically wait until there is an opportunity to climb down.
Okay. So we move to their turns again. The Kithka warriors making more progress. But something else happens, obviously, at the top of the tower. There is a shimmering, a spark of arcane energy as through a portal of power steps the Tallow man himself. Every bit as hideous as his effigy. He looks upon you all and says, "Do you have any last words?" That is
leap you bastard.
That is unfortunately his go, as he has to cast the spell, the action to get up here. But you can see he's preparing himself. Move to Thorsten. Difficult times. Back up and help, or carry on down.
The Tallow man might not be aware of me currently, given that I was beneath the lip.
Wow, you are really pushing it. But you were right.
Yeah.
You are over dangling. I mean, how epically Conan is it that you are unseen, hanging from the top of this tower at the moment? I'd certainly allow it. And
I was going to say, how heroically stupid would it be for me to leap back over the lip and stab the Tallow man in the back?
Yeah, I
But
would.
that's my go. I'm going to go for it.
Okay. So suddenly, out of nowhere, Thorsten arrives again, swinging himself up. I like to think that you sort of almost are on the rope and you kick yourself
Yep.
off the wall, getting that momentum going, and it's so much so that you flip over, you kind of land, and you make an attack. I mean, it's heroic, it's really good. I think for this attack, you're taking him by surprise, and he is full of hubris. So I'm going to even give you advantage on this attack.
Ooh,
Um,
I done good somewhere.
which is the dice telling a story. Look at that. It is a critical fail and a critical success all at the same time. This could well be game changing. So you double the dice that you would normally roll. So that is 64. That's not
That is
64. That is 6 D-sided dice. D4-sided dice. But that is amazing. That is heroic, epic, and the way I like the dice to tell a tale.
and let's see just how much I manage.
So somebody quickly add those up. 14.
14.
Yeah. I mean, that smarts. It doesn't kill him outright, but you just catch him. And what's worse is this is the first time in centuries that he has bled, that he has felt pain, and he just screams in agony. It's not quite his go yet, but he sort of turns and he has supernatural strength, and he kind of pushes you sort of away. He doesn't kind of throw you, but you feel your feet begin to slip on the horrible greasy wax as he just tries to hand you off, as this blade is buried deep in his back, and you can see he was not happy about that. Wow, impressive. Jasmine, what are you going to do?
Puts Lord Arcades down, equips her shield and longsword, and DM permitting will try and attack the Tallow man.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop you trying to attack. I mean, what mechanically speaking here, you have this big statue, but you have the gear slots for it. So because you've got the gear slots for it, you're not technically carrying it in your hands, but you kind of need to carry it in your hands because it's bulk. I'm kind of giving you a little bit of cinematic narrative of you kind of need to put it down. If you didn't have the gear slots for it, but you still wanted to carry it, it would be a different story. So this is kind to explain my sort of thinking of the situation. So yeah, you kind of place him down. I was expecting you to sort of place him down over the side of the tower, so that's a positive. You ready yourself and you charge forward. I'm afraid just a standard attack. His armor class is 14. Oh,
16.
16 is higher than 14. Describe how this axe bites deep.
It's a longsword.
Sorry. Describe how this longsword bites deep.
Well, I still have to roll the d8, right?
Yeah, you certainly damaged him though, but I'm assuming you intend to really hurt him.
She's basically a classic fighter, so shield between her and the Tallow man, and then basically making like movements like he won't know where the weapon is coming from, and slices underhand and up its belly.
Nice. Let's see how much damage you do. See, I told you. Wow, that does bite deep. 22 points of damage. As
He's disemboweling.
yeah. He drops to one knee for a moment as that really, and again he lets out this mighty scream. The second time in centuries that he has felt agony, blood, viscera pouring out of him, but this is when he is at his most dangerous, when he is cornered, when he is close to death. You know that the tales of his magics are mighty. But before he exits his Drago, what are you going to do, Drago? You're on mute.
You're mute.
Oh, it's kicked in now. It just wasn't picking up your mic. No, you're still on mute. You're still on mute. You have been silenced by the Tallow man. You are still on mute. I don't know what I'm doing. Has your headset run out of power? Is it plugged in? No, it's certainly not working. Maybe if it's a USB.
Unplug it and plug it back in.
If it's a USB, mine occasionally does this as well. There we go. I heard that.
Better?
Yeah, much better.
Great. I can't hear you.
I should work in IT.
You can't hear me
You
now.
can hear me, but I can't hear you.
We
so
can
that's
hear you.
fine. Well, I'll say what I want to do, and
Yeah.
then we'll sign language it out. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he wearing robes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I, using my tinder and my flint and steel, try and set him on fire?
Well, it is a bold move. Do you have any
No, I
oil?
can't hear you too.
Oil? I mean, you do have the grease that's on the floor, the greasy floor.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't particularly allow a flint and tinder to set robes just alight. Normally, it's it doesn't work. It's like really difficult to get a fire to light with a flint
That's
and
cool.
steel.
If it's not something that would work in the heat of the moment.
But what I was trying to say about the floor is covered in this flammable grease that you could use your terrain advantage, not necessarily set the floor alight, but scoop some up and try and use that to start the fire upon him. This is a very excited GM because the whole story has been about candles and Tallow Man, and for him to meet his final end burnt is poetic in the best of ways.
He's not experienced pain, so let's give him a bit of variety before he goes. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, he's very, very badly wounded with the critical strike and the max damage from the sword.
Okay.
But
yeah, so I think if I can, I'd like to sort of kick some onto the hem of his robes or whatever, and just kind of give it something that the fire could then take purchase on.
okay, interesting. We'll see how this goes. I mean, it sounds very much like can I just make a flame? And you can really. I don't think that you particularly need to roll to do this. But let's see how well you can do it. Can you give me a dex, I think? Or if you want to try and persuade a different stat for the style, how you try and style this out, I'm more than happy with that.
I think I would be similar to the approach to the stairwell. I'd be trying to go with a logic of what's going to burn and to trying to coat this stuff on the base of his robes as best I can. So trying to be a more kind of taking a more logical approach than the dexterous approach would be my argument.
Okay.
How strong an argument that is,
So
I don't know.
I'm going to say, because in my descriptions with the knife between the shoulder blades and the max damage from the longsword, I said he collapses to one knee. Description that I said. which means he's now kneeling in this horrible grease as well. So he's somewhat coated in it already. So you know what? This is Shadowdark, and I don't care. I like the idea of what you've said. I think it is totally poetic. You can just do this. I mean, the rules in Shadowdark say if it's an action that is simple, you don't ask for rolls for it. You just let it happen. While Shadowdark is dangerous and punishing, sometimes the punishment goes on the other side, not the players, but the NPCs. So how do you want to bring an end to the Tallow Man here, Drago?
Just kind of with my positioning myself between my two friends, because we've done this. They've made two mighty blows or multiple mighty blows and bringing him down, and knowing that I can't match them for strength, I would kind of sort of just carefully reaching out and just try and flick sparks onto him, and would want to say something poetic but wouldn't be able to think of anything in the moment.
Okay, the flame.
I would.
Oh, go on.
I would just say quietly, Faroga.
Oh, lovely. So you first do it and it does a spark, but nothing happens. You do it again, nothing. It catches and it drops onto him. He is covered in this grease, his lower body, his robes, and it begins to burn. He screams, and the hand that was down in the grease that he fell upon tries to extinguish the flame. Of course, it's covered in grease, and his arm begins to burn. He staggers to his feet, trying to grab his guts pouring out of his body thanks to Jasmine. The blade wrenched out of his back by Thorsten as he moves around and slips, falling over, coating himself in more oil. He is burning. Yes, Jasmine?
As he stands up, Jasmine would like to make a horizontal swipe and cut his head off as a souvenir to take with her before his head starts coming on fire.
Okay.
And I know Drago got the killing blow, but
it's you. You're a team. It's a group. What I want you to do, though, because something else might happen, is I want you to roll an attack. Just an attack. DC 14. If you hit, you succeed. If you don't, 2.
no.
The dice tell a tale. As he's slipping around, there's horrible black smoke, and you try and take this as a trophy. You swing, and he just moves out of the way, and as he does, he topples over the top of the tower like a burning, falling star. He crashes down the tower, and as he does, he occasionally bumps into the tower. The flames beginning to catch the tower itself as it begins to burn, and flame begins to ripple up the sides of it. You're not quite sure what happens to him, but there is a terrible, sickening crunch as he disappears into the gardens, which slowly but surely begin to smoke as well. What would you like to do? You're now in a burning tower, at least the exterior of it.
Down the stairs again?
Down the stairs with the hordes of Kithka warriors coming up. The whole tower is in a flame at the moment. It's a big tower. There's only one side of it at the moment where he fell down.
We go to the other side
Yes.
and see if it's relatively clear, and if there's any signs of it kind of the flame making its way around circumference-wise.
Of course it is, but that is cinematic. Most of the Kithka warriors are drawn into the tower now, trying to chase you down, so it makes the grounds easier to traverse. if you choose to try and escape at this point, we will just say we will close the scene as the tower is burning.
Yeah, I will pick up Lord Arcades again. Use some rope to secure him, either dangling below me or tied to my back.
Perfect.
So I have both hands and feet free to use the rope.
So we see our three protagonists, Jasmine, Drago, and Thorsten, making good their escape from this burning tower as they clamber down the blind side of it, making their way rapidly through the garden and over the wall, safe into the streets as they see black smoke billowing out of the estate of the Tallow man.
If possible, I would signal the guy with the cart that helped us get into the garden. He's probably just, turned around and now parked the other way. Basically get back in the backside of the wagon with Lord Arcades' effigy, throw some tarp over it so it's not recognizable, and just head to the docks.
Okay, straight to the docks. He kind of nods and you slowly make an escape from this burning tower. Maybe that's it. Maybe it is all behind you. I mean, he surely wouldn't have had two effigies or any other protections upon him. Surely not. You can rest easy, I'm sure. I'm sure everything is fine. You get to the docks. You signal the ship or get a boat. You can signal the ship now. They're probably watching for you for your... Okay. One of these dragon boats are sent out, as I described them last time. They're kind of large rowboats, but the front of it is shaped with the head of a dragon, and there is a lantern in the head itself. So as it is sailed forward, fire gouts through its mouth and its eyes. Most of this rowboat is sort of reinforced with black iron. Are you going to travel to the ship, or are you just handing across the effigy?
Oh no, I wanna meet with Lord Arcades.
Yeah. I
this
think we have to face the potential fallout.
Okay. You clamber
and,
into
and
the boat.
versus reward, we've delivered the thing to him.
Yes, and if he's still able to stand up to receive it, then brilliant.
On that bombshell.
Yes. You are rowed across the ship and you find yourselves very rapidly in the cabin of the Dark Duke.
Jasmine plonks down the statue on its base quite forcefully and says, "Sorry about the bleeding limb."
I felt something. One assumes it was perhaps you, but I guess. Thank you.
It helped bash the brains in from one of the Tallowman's guard. So
I am
thanks
pleased.
for the bleeding help.
I am pleased that you enjoyed my assistance. You're all giving me that look. I thought the drafts that I provided for you were the payment, so you could succeed in your endeavours against the Tallow man. Am I perhaps mistaken?
No, he's dead. A bleeping grease stain on the bleeping floor of his garden.
Splendid. You have proven yourselves. You've proven yourselves as reliable mercenaries. reliable and capable. Are you looking for future employment? Perhaps a retainer, some coin?
You used the term aptly, mercenary. Now, given that we each may have our own allegiances within the city, but as freelancers, we are able to take work as it is discovered. So, more than happy, more than an appropriate opportunity for us to work together for the betterment of the city.
Well,
The Tallow Man has been a power for a very long time. The removal of said power will cause some level of turmoil regardless, will it not?
in many ways, yes, I cannot disagree, but there are many more like the Tallow Man, weaving their dark-hearted magics and their machinations within the city, whether they fight each other or have their eyes on a bigger prize. But I try not to embroil myself into politics. I have, and it kind of indicates to the table that you see, the map that is on with the pieces, my destiny, my kingdoms to be returned to me. But even here in exile in Ibaihor, there are whispers that my brother still attempts to work against me, and having eyes and ears in the city proper is a useful resource to have, a resource that should be well looked after, both in terms of coin and in terms of, well, favours.
Definitely an arrangement we can continue to enjoy the benefits of.
And I am truly grateful for what you have done. There are many that would have perhaps tried to abuse the statue in some kind of way, tried to use it against me, or seek out my brother, for instance. The Tallow Man isn't the only agent of sympathetic magics, and there were perhaps others that could tap into the powers of it.
Well, it was bleeping useful, and Jasmine claps her hand on the shoulder of the statue quite forcefully.
He winces. You, Jasmine, is it? Have much to
Yep.
learn. As generous as I can be, I have a darker side. You wish to push me further?
Gently move over to Jasmine and carefully sort of just placing a hand on the wrist to encourage her hand to lift away, not trying to force because it's not going to work, but just trying to,
Yeah, Jasmine lets Drago remove her hand and says, well, I'm basically bleeping a kid, so, I mean, not bleeping a kid, I'm a bleeping kid.
Well, if you want to reach maturity, I would suggest you tread carefully.
Just a bit of bleeping fun.
All keen to continue this relationship and to build on what we've begun here.
He makes a gesture, and the lieutenant that is always here at your backs kind of nods, moves forward, and opens up a chest. Pulls out a couple of bags that jingle. Kind of passes them to you. Coin. For the return of this, as I say, I am generous when needs be. I truly understand the power of this thing and the troubles it could have brought me.
We thank you, and we are glad to have been able to help.
All right.
Jasmine pipes up and says, well, when we left the tower, it didn't bleeping burn down all the way, perhaps? If the bleeping interior is still attacked, there's a bleeping room up there with lots of bleeping statues. Of bleeping famous city people.
Interesting. As I say, I do not play politics here. I have my eyes on a prize closer to my heart. If you can find use for the others, then help yourselves, but be cautious. If the tower burns and these other individuals of power feel there is an opportunity, they will descend like vultures upon the bones. I do not believe the Tallow man had many, if any, allies. An isolationist at best. You do not need to fear, I believe, of any repercussions to your actions.
Let's hope so.
Well, it would be my intent to go to ground, as they might say, for some time anyway.
Well, enjoy the coin, spend it, celebrate your victories. Some of you might find that life is actually cut short. Enjoy what you have now, in case you cannot in the future.
Nice words.
And with that, he kind of raises his hand to dismiss you. He's already become bored. He's kind of paid you for it. His words are true. It's not political lip service. He knows that you have done a mighty favour here, and he has rewarded you well. You each have got 500 gold pieces.
Oozers.
It is not a small amount of coin.
It is not a small amount. And I'm going to say with 500 gold pieces, and technically the Dark Duke as a contact now, so a boon as well. This is going to give you enough experience to go to level 3. Wow. First and foremost, that fight at the end with the max damage and the critical strike was very good. He was only 2 hit points off. He had 24 hit points and you did 22 points of damage, which is why I thought it was very poetic for Drago to sort of light that. So you are returned. It isn't game over yet. For one of the fun things about Shadowdark is carousing. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but it is a way of earning additional experience points, which will take you towards the next level. It also is a wild and crazy way to find out what has happened. In effect, you drink so heavily, who knows what happens to you in your revelries.
I think before we go revel, we go past, what's her name again? Vegeta?
Yep.
Sangeeta.
thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. You have narrative control here, so you get to the docks and you want to head back to the the Thieves area, and you arrive there. What would you like to do? She's obviously there holding a degree of court, organising such things. So, Jasmine, Drago, Thorsten, you are welcomed in.
I think
Get beer. We won. He's a bleeping grease stain.
My enthusiastic companion, the Tallow man, as far as we can be sure, is no more.
This is
His
good.
effigy destroyed, his tower alight, his body crushed to the ground from the top of the tower.
Yeah, if you step outside, you can bleeping see the bleeping smoke from here.
And if the wind's blowing in the wrong direction, you can smell it too.
You see, though, this means a lot to her. It is not just the freedom of the threat, but the Tallow man was instrumental in not just the murder and the curse of her grandmother, but also on the total devastation of the Red Masks. And she looks at you all and says, I don't know what to say, other than our true work begins now.
Jasmine holds out her hand and says, "Come on, bleeping pay me finally."
Let us celebrate. Let us drink. Money can come later. You get the impression she's probably not going to pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Not until they can access the treasure in the Red Mask area.
yeah, absolutely. And that is close now. You don't have to carouse. This is an individual player choice. You can choose to keep your money if you wish to use it to purchase items. You can spend I think you've probably got about 500 max at the moment, really. There are different carousing tables which are in our very good supplement, which has a title far too long to repeat. So you do have a choice: 30 gold pieces, 100 gold pieces, 300 gold pieces are the tiers that you could spend. You can spend individual tiers and you get a different role on different tables. Now, some of them can be bad, some of them can be good. You don't have control when you get out and get truly slaughtered on a night. Who knows what will happen to you? You will gain some experience regardless, though, because good or bad, you learn from your mistakes, only to get drunk again the following night.
That might truly happen.
Yeah. So this is up to you. Don't feel pressured into it, but I will say, Jasmine, would you like to carouse?
Oh, definitely. Jasmine is all up for carousing, up to 100 gold at least.
Okay, so you've got a choice, as I say, that there's tier levels. So 100 or 300 is your choice. So about 30, 100 or 300. So did you want to do the max 100 and then save the money for something else?
Yeah.
Okay, so give us a D12 roll. This is on table B. 3. You have got "You're My Best Friend" as you drink deep, and you basically see. You find yourself with 2 experience points. You wake up in a dark alley in the wet, not the most pleasant of places. and you feel something against your face, something wet again, and as your eyes begin to focus, you see a mangy dog bringing you into consciousness, and the first words is, "You're my best friend," and it kind of nudges you. You now have a mangy dog as a companion. Very good. Let us move to Drago. You have a choice of... I hope you're not cheating in looking at our remarkable, marvellous supplement.
Not in the slightest. No, I was actually ready for the dice roll.
Didn't-
I'm going to go with 100 as well, I think.
Okay, 100, same table. I mean, what would you like to do? Would you like to keep 3 if you roll it, or would you like to do a re-roll? This is your choice. You might want to manage your dog as well.
I think, let's see what happens. Yeah, I think if we get 3, then
You want to
that's
keep
the
it? Yeah,
story that the dice have told, I
yeah.
think. Yeah, let's go for it.
I'm just keeping, options open there. So yeah, give us a roll.
Right then.
You've got a 1. You've got,
Got a 1.
by the hells, what is that? You too gain 2 experience points. Yeah, you feel something on your arm. It's itching, and as you kind of pull up your sleeve, you realise you've got a drunken tattoo, and you're not quite sure
Oh,
what it
God.
is as your eyes begin to focus, and you realise it's the name of one of your adventuring companions that you've had tattooed on your arm. Now, I will, because narrative, you can have Jasmine or Thorsten, but I will say you could have Rogar as well if you wanted to.
I think Rogar would be the one that I would do, but I think because it was a 1, it feels appropriate that it's probably spelt wrong. So
Roger
that
instead
the
of Rogar.
sentiment is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
The
says Roger.
execution.
Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just like, oh, I've got a tattoo. What on earth of it is? Lovely job, but mark down an extra 2 hit points beyond you leveling up to level 3. Last but
XP or hit points?
XP. No,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. So you got 2 XP and a mangy dog. Drago got 2 XP and a tattoo spelt wrong. Thorsten, is it 30, 100, or 300?
Thorsten will also take the 100
Okay.
and would like a unique result, shall we say?
That is absolutely fine. There is no problem with that. I will say that 2 positive results have gone.
Hmm.
No, it's good. Give us a
D12.
D12 roll, please. Oh, a 12. Very good. You've got winner, chicken dinner. You
Gambling.
gain 3 experience points. And this is not insubstantial. You gain some coin. You gain gambling
Nice.
winnings of 1d100. So roll a d100. It could be 1, it could be 100 gold.
How do I roll a D100 in this thing?
There should be...
Yeah, the percentile dice are both in there, so you
yeah.
should have 2 different
Yeah.
D10s.
I think if you just click...
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, nice. That is 84 gold back. It is indeed a winner chicken dinner for you, as you spent 100 and got 84 back and some experience points as well.
16 gold pieces for 3 experience points. I'll take that winning any day.
Yeah, you just got your coins sort of full of, your pockets full of coins, and it's like, yes. As Drago turns up with his tattoo and Jasmine as this dog following.
It's like, what's going on here? What on earth is all of this?
So,
And the night continues for a few more rounds, I'm sure, of drinking.
yeah, absolutely. Okay.
I would like to resolve the tapestry as soon as Jasmine's somewhat sober again, she will look for a friendly,
Friendly. I mean, yeah.
someone she knows is not cheating on the guild to be.
Okay. Okay, very nice. So, the person that you kind of know is Toozer the Toad, and his agents. I mean, this is an expensive piece of merchandise, somewhat ripped, somewhat filthy from your adventures, but still worth a fair amount of coin. Toozer has the resources to pay for something like this, but there are lesser fences that probably give you less, but there'll be sort of less questions asked and the like. So it's a balance of a quick sale to an expert that will give you the money, or something that will take slightly more time.
Jasmine will explain that it got bleeping nicked from the bleeping Tallow Man's tower, so it should be bleeping worth quite a bit.
So Toozer the Toad says, yeah, they all say that. I got it from the arse of this, or but I mean, look at it. It's threadbare. I think there's gold thread there. How much do you think it's worth? And he just smiles at you.
Couple of hundred.
Couple of hundred. Couple of hundred. I'll give you 150 coin.
250.
250 is too rich for me. 200 coin now.
Deal.
He offers you his pudgy, sweaty hand.
I spit in mine and then clasp his.
Yes, good, good, good. He licks his hand. Good. He kind of nods to someone who kind of shuffles forward and gives you some coin. And he takes the tapestry off you and says, hang it up over there, quite like that. And you can add that coin. It is up to you whether you wish to share it with your companions or not.
After everything that happened, Jasmine would probably split it because it's something that she wouldn't have. She's honest enough that she knows that she wouldn't be able to retrieve this without the help of her companions.
Very nice.
I mean, she's chaotic. She's not evil.
Yeah. Okay. So you split it, and we'll say what, 66 is it approximately? 200 split 3 ways. So you all retrieve that as well. Successful, but much more than successful over the next few days as you begin to recover from your carousing and really address. You begin to know the curse has been lifted from the red masks. The treasure which Vegeta is going to put to good use, putting the red masks together, is rewarded stuff, and the den of the red masks is being reconverted as a meeting place now, all of which you are obviously welcome to. Some of the traps are reset, and some of the words and the riddles that are needed to get into the halls changed. But it's going to take time in terms of recruitment. But what is going to take a lot of time is the politics of the wet. And it is this that Vegeta wishes to speak with you with. A few days after your carousing, you are asked to attend a meeting with Vegeta and Borealis. You, I assume, head there.
Yep, my dog with me.
Have you gave the dog a name as yet?
Mutt.
But I like it. As you begin to make your way, though, let us see if you are disturbed by anything. Because it has been a bit of a time. Oops. No, it's a 4 on that. So, you managed to get there, and Vegeta says, well, as you can see, we're making progress. I certainly do not wish you to think that the coin in the vault has gone to waste. I know that you have laid your very eyes upon it, and you know there is a king's ransom there. But to bring the guild back, to give it a position of power within the city, not just within the wet, is going to take coin. I do not wish you to think bad of me for not just handing it over to you. You have proven yourself loyal, valuable, courageous individuals. A challenge the entity known as the Tallow Man, who was responsible for such a terrible curse on my grandmother and the destruction of the entire guild. You put an end to that. Already amongst the few red masks that we have, your names are whispered as heroes. There is
Sleeping, rightfully so.
I do not disagree. The problem
Jasmine
here,
holds out her hand again. Bleeping time to pay me. Bleeping finally.
do you have food in your belly? Do
Yeah.
you want for anything?
Getting paid? For
To what end? I see you less as common mercenaries and more as brothers and sisters. That is something that coin cannot buy.
Jasmine mutters something illegible under her breath, crosses her arms, and shuts up. Fine.
As I say, though, the politics of the wet is convoluted. It is anarchy, as you know, on the streets. There are numerous gangs, some small, some with larger numbers, and they all have turf. Some of them perhaps will decide to join with us, put their histories behind them and become members of the Red Masks. Others, though, will resist, seeking independence. We need to find out who we can deal with, who we can trust, and we need to cut out any infections of the wet that might stand in our way. It sounds brutal, but from the information that we've got, many of these gangs are cultists, thugs, murderers, and assassins. Yes, the Red Masks were thieves, but they had honour. What are your thoughts upon this?
I think we agreed to help you because we believed that your intentions were, I won't necessarily say good, but better than many people in this place. And that you were someone we thought we would like to see in a position of greater power. I don't think anything's changed.
Agreed.
So I think I would say we are with you and will help if we can.
And be it that we consider ourselves a member of the Red Masks or not, that is a choice for each one of us. Thorsten, I definitely would look to support you publicly, openly, privately, as you best see fit use for us. If that puts us in conflict with less like-minded individuals, that is the way of the nature of this city, and it's only going to get better the more power we can bring.
Jasmine shrugs and says, well, you bleeping took me in when I was bleeping out on the street without employment, so yeah, I'm in.
Splendid. And you're so good at making friends, Jasmine.
That completely goes over her head. -2 in wisdom, -2 in intelligence.
That is
So
fine.
-1.
So, if I may ask, go out onto the streets of the wet, find out what people are saying, which gangs are digging in, which gangs aren't. Try and find out information upon the gangs themselves, their strengths, their weaknesses, their desires, whether we can work with them, whether they will want to work with us. As I say, some I've heard do horrific things for their pleasures. We will clean the wet, we'll make it our home, and then, and only then, will we be able to ply our trade proper in the city. And I think with that, that is where we will draw a close tonight, on tonight's session.
Did you say we leveled up?
You did. So
Are we going to roll that out next session or tonight?
I think one of the great things about Shadowdark is it takes a very small amount of time. So let us start with you, Jasmine. Really, I suppose you're playing a warrior. Is that correct?
A fighter. Yes.
So you get to roll 2d6. A 5, which is +1 to melee and ranged attacks.
Again, yay.
Which is going to give you a nice bonus, I think. Now that is what is your bonus now?
+4 on the longsword, +3 on the longbow, so that will become +5 and +4.
Yeah, I mean that is very nice. You also get to roll some hit points, which is a 1d8. 3. Your weapon mastery, I don't think is affected this turn, is it? You gain +1 to attack and damage with that weapon. In addition, add half of your level, rounded down, so that is still going to be 2. And I think that is you done. What does that bring your hit points to now?
12. She's not a very, very healthy fighter. She
Perfect.
relies on her armor.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have to say, you struck true tonight against the Tallow man. Let us move across to you, Drago. You are a priest,
I am indeed.
so roll 2d6.
2d6.
You have a 6, which is +1 to melee or ranged attacks. And that's melee or ranged attacks, unlike the fighter, which is and ranged attacks.
Okay, so do I choose that, or is
Yeah,
that?
you can choose whether you want it to be melee or ranged.
I will go with melee on the basis that, yeah, that makes me hit even harder.
Yep. You certainly were bonking some of those Kithga warriors with your staff. You also get to roll some hit points, which is a 1d6 for you. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 4.
Right.
How many hit points does that put you on now?
That puts me up to 12.
So the priest has the same hit points as the fighter now. You've also got spell casting. Each time you level up, you choose a new priest spell to learn according to the priest known tables. Do you aware? Do you want to peruse that? Because we can move to Thorsten, and then you can tell me.
Let me have a look, and then I will. If we come back to me, I can let you know which one I'm going for. If
Wow,
that's okay.
just had a look as well. You know 3 first and 1 second at
Yeah.
3rd level. That is very nice. Thief class, Thorsten.
Yeah.
2d6, please. That's an 11. +1 to melee and ranged attacks.
I only see 9.
Oh, sorry, 9. I can't do that. Sorry, you were right.
Although,
No, you were right. You got the 9.
yeah.
I mean, it's not bad though. You get to choose +2
Strength,
to strength, dexterity, or charisma.
Oh, I think I have to take Dex and max it out.
Okay, is that going to put you on to 18?
It's already 18.
Okay, so I don't think you can go above +4 basically as your modifier. So I mean, your dexterity can go up beyond 18, but there's no additional bonuses beyond the +4.
You're quite right. The table stops at 18.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll take strength and go to 12.
Perfect. Okay. All this climbing up and down the tower.
Yes. I don't like being the tiny weedy one again in the middle of the 2 big heavy characters around me.
Very nice. You also get more hit points.
I do. Not many.
1d4. Is that a 3?
Oh, 3. Yep.
What
takes me to 10.
10. Okay, you. Oh, very nice. Okay.
I'm not sure if I did weapon mastery right.
Okay, let's quickly.
I think I forgot to add the extra +1 to the rolls when I was level 2.
Okay, so choose one type of weapon, such as long swords. You gain +1 to attack and damage with that weapon. In addition, add half of your level to those rounded down. So at level 2, you wouldn't have got it. Oh no, you would have got +1 rounded down. It's level 3, you don't get it. So yeah, so you should be getting +2 now to attack and damage with that weapon. And you've chosen, I'm assuming, long swords.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Fortunately, no one died, so you don't have to retcon absolutely everything else. Yeah, make a note of that for the next session, which should hopefully be in 2 weeks' time, when you go amongst the gangs of the wet, seeing what allies, enemies, and the like you can make. Drago, have you? I'm not going to force you. If you want longer to peruse, you can always tell us at the start of the next session.
I am torn between 3, considering I've only got 6 to choose from. That's not very helpful. I think, on the basis of my terrible rolling, I'm going to go with Cleansing Weapon.
Okay. And cleansing
Because,
weapon does what?
so, uh, one weapon I touch is wreathed in purifying flames. It deals an additional 1d4 damage, or 1d6 if it's against undead, for the duration, which is 5 rounds. So if it works, it lasts for 5 rounds,
Mhm.
which means I can boost some of my allies' strikes or my strikes. And yeah,
Sounds
just
good.
yeah, I was torn with Bless, which is cool because Bless lets you give people luck points. But considering the number of times that I've used luck points to try and cast a spell successfully, it seems like it would just be a self-defeating prospect. Yeah, so Cleansing Weapon, I think, is where I'm going.
Perfect.
And that is a tier 2 spell, so
Yeah.
a DC of 12 to cast it.
Yep.
It is,
That's
yeah.
If I
correct.
understand the gaming.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe the Tallow man never got to cast a spell.
So I'm quite happy he never got to cast a spell.
I mean,
You did well. You're up against enemies that are far more powerful than you. If you'd encountered him early game and tried to hit him without defeating his effigy, you wouldn't have been doing any damage to him at all. It would have been, I got a crit, hooray, do you want to roll your damage? He doesn't take any of that. So, yeah, a hard enemy and a well fought sort of story arc, really. You have removed the curse of the red masks now, the Tallow man. I mean, who knows cinematically, unless you see the body, are they truly, really dead? But I don't think you need to worry about the Tallow man in the near future. And this is Shadowdark, so you'll probably be long dead before anything else happens with him. Brilliant. I'm going to ask this, but I think I know the answer to this question. But before we bring the session to a close, any standout moments, anything that got you really going? We'll start off with you, Natasha.
Yeah, basically when we got out of the circular room where we burned the effigy, and Thorsten had rematerialized, and there were enemies outside the door, and Drago had gone off into the stairwell, and I thought, like, we've had it. This is the end of the party. We're all gonna die. But then our roles turned out to tell the story, and we managed anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, I rolled terribly tonight. I got that double one on an advantage that brought you some time. And you rolled very, very well. I don't think the Kithka warriors, I think they hit once really. And they had +4, I think, to their attack. It was just they rolled low, and sometimes that is what happens. Matt.
I think it's probably got to be the nice the way the dice helped with the story, and that moment, those moments of kind of that three-part defeat at the end was really nice and just felt right, and a nice end to the journey that we've been on
Yeah.
as a trio or a quartet with the memory of Rogar as well.
Absolutely. And it's kind of interesting as a GM. You kind of go, well, do you need to make a roll for this? Should you make a roll for this? And do you as players feel cheated that I just let you do it? But I mean, I calculated everything in my head. I constantly said the floor of the top of this tower was covered in inches of this thick, fat grease that had been pumping out the chimney for centuries. The fact that I had said that he'd fallen to his knees, the fact a tinderbox doesn't take a roll to light, you just write it, the fact he only had 2 hit points left, and it just felt narratively like, yeah, well done. And it would have felt, I think, really bad if I tried to make you make a roll and you just rolled really bad. It wouldn't feel epic or heroic.
Yeah.
And the reality of the situation, because he was so badly damaged, is he probably would have died the next round anyway, but it would have taken that design, that story, that narrative away, and it would have been a bittersweet sort of victory rather than a really kind of yes, he got what he deserved. So it's an interesting one as a GM, because you have all of these decisions and factors to roll up, but I think it was the right decision, and I hope you enjoyed it for that. Last but not least, Malcolm.
Well, when Thorsten rematerialized in from the gaseous form, and didn't spot that was a bad idea. We could have perhaps just slithered out of the tower, and we'd.
To be fair, if we'd done that, we couldn't have taken the effigy of Dark Lord Arcades with us, though.
Yeah,
true.
And maybe there was no way we killed the Tallow man in the same way. So,
I mean, yes, there is the reason why the statue was there. It was again decisions. Do we materialize? Do we take the statue? Do we not materialize? Do we try and escape? And then we might have agents of the Dark Duke sort of knocking on our door saying, "Excuse me, you were supposed to be doing something." It's interesting. You don't necessarily think of all of the repercussions in that moment. But I think with you transforming, it was an interesting decision, but I don't think it was necessarily a massive error of judgment at all, really. You also seem to be very good at locking yourselves in a room with no escape, which is also interesting. Perfect.
I was actually hoping for us to remove the piton thingies, and then the next time the guards would try and open the door, it would just open wide to stumble into the door and into the room, and Thorsten and me could just have gone, berserk on them.
Absolutely. It was an interesting thing, but as I say, when we play a game of variants, I like open rolls. I like the dice to help tell a story, for positive or for negative. I mean, for me, it always looks like I'm picking on poor Matt, but when you threw the dagger down the stairs and you got the natural one, it just seemed to be sort of sticking in one of the Kithka warriors.
It was a long shot,
It
was a very long shot.
I mean, I would have let it work if you hadn't rolled that natural one. You needed a 9. But it was, again, for me, it was a moment of you sort of retreating, charging into the other two, sort of caught between a rock and a hard place. But fortunately, the door got opened, and everything worked out in the end. Anyway, I think that is enough post-game chatter. I'm very excited to see where you take the story next. Politics of the gangs of the wet is going to be very interesting. So thank you very much. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, check us out on Drive-Thru. Links are in the description below. And if you can, please give us a subscribe and a like, because it really helps us out. Hopefully, we will all be back together again in 2 weeks' time for the new chapter in Times Undreamed of. Good night for now. Thank you for watching.
Keep those bleeping torches lit.
Very much so.